You've heard of Alberta beef, right? This province is one of the biggest beef producers in the country. In fact, in 2023, Alberta accounted for 44% of Canada's cattle herd. So cattle ranching is a pretty big deal here, but that industry is facing an uncertain future. Statistics Canada numbers show the extent of these pressures. As a whole, the Canadian cattle herd fell 1.4% from last year, and cattle raised for beef, those fell even more, dropping 2.2%. It's the third year in a row the federal agency has recorded a decline in cattle numbers. And in fact, latest statistics show cattle populations have reached their lowest level since 1987. For the ranchers still left in the business, the low supply could provide them an opportunity to capitalize on high beef prices, if they can afford to stay in the game. But what does that mean? At the grocery store, a smaller herd means buying beef is going to cost you. But a bigger question for the cattle industry, where do ranchers go from here? Canadian cattle herds have been dwindling for years because, as one analyst told me, when ranchers aren't making money, they liquidate. That's where rancher Kent Holowath was about a year ago. He thought about selling off his whole herd. His son was ready to find work in town, but he told me he's put in too much work to just walk away.
Yeah, I've been at this 35 years producing a cow herd and building it up to where it is today. So you just don't sell that cow herd off and get it back the same as it was a year later.
Most ranchers will only sell off their herd if it makes financial sense. And while high prices on the shelves might mean more money for ranchers, that's short-term gain, not long-term sustainability. Still lost? Well, welcome to farm school. Here's how it works. Just like anything else in the agricultural biz, cattle ranchers are up against the weather, in a sense. Good and bad harvest seasons matter because they make hay or other cattle feed readily available. And readily available feed means it costs less to raise a head of cattle. So in bad harvest seasons brought on by the droughts Alberta has been facing, smaller herd means less overhead costs. Good, right? Wrong. That smaller herd means the earning potential for the rancher is stunted. So the goal might then obviously be to build up the herd, make more cows. This doesn't happen overnight. It takes planning, it takes foresight, and that's the risk cattle farmers have to calculate. Will raising more cattle pan out? Or will rising costs eat into the growing profit margins and put the farmer in the red? Female cattle are the bargaining chip. The young heifers, cows that haven't had a calf yet, could either get sold off for a big profit or be held onto to help grow the herd. Right now, those young cows are really tempting to sell. Either the math isn't working in the rancher's favor and selling off a cow instead of breeding her can keep them afloat, or it's an opportunity to leave the industry altogether. CanFac says the cattle inventory is just one indicator of how the industry is doing. High profit margins might make the industry attractive for young people. Many have had to choose a city job over managing the family farm. That's why this is important. It's the future of an industry. But will herds rebound? The fall calving season will give the industry a better idea.
Yeah, it's going to be a slow process. We need to get the youth back involved in this industry. I think that's where we're seeing a lot of cattle moving out of the system. Is people are aging out and they're going, I've had enough of this cow business and it's time to cash in and move on. So the age of the producer has lots to do with whether or not, in my mind, whether or not we get back to big numbers that we had previously, and I hope we bring the cow herd back to where it was. Only time will tell.